Hello and welcome to the guide of the World Conqueror 4 recent update. This update dropped earlier this morning, and today I will be discussing all the new things in the update, including new generals, reworked generals, new elite forces, and among other things. We'll start with the new generals first. So there are a handful of new IAP generals and a few free-to-play generals, quite a few actually. Most are trash, so I'll go over them briefly. The ones that are good, I'll go over them more in depth. First, we'll start with Nenonen. He is a new Finnish artillery general, and he's actually pretty good. Like with Lieb, he's pretty cheap, but he starts with better accuracy and artillery leader, which makes me prefer him more over Lieb for early game. And plus, without worrying about upgrading his speed, that's a really big, cost-effective move. I would say probably Rumor as his additional perk, but if I were to buy him, I personally would go with explosives. Next is Anders, and he's nothing too special. Armored Assault is good. Machinist, no, and Tide is no. Pretty disappointing. Just another tanker. Julius. He is the Polish version of Sun LR. Instead of plane and forest, he has street fighting and panzer leader. I would say, as a support, I would go Julius, but the reason why I wouldn't want to use Julius now is because of List. List is by far one of the best new generals for free-to-play in the update. He has Armored Assault, Blitzkrieg, and Explosives. And an additional perk, you could do probably Panzer Leader. Probably that's the only one that would be viable. You could do Plane or Inspiring, but I'd do Panzer Leader, but he's really good. He's definitely quite a fortune to invest in because he only starts at 3-star tank, but he has potential to be very good. I'd say third best tanker, beating Rakowski, Monty, and Batuten. Clark is a new infantry general, and he has infantry leader and raider, very good. The only thing I don't like is his skill. Mobility up when commanding units at sea. I really don't see much of a use for this. Maybe Pacific campaign, but that's really niche. He's not less expensive than MacArthur by much, though. If you want a good infantry general, I just go with MacArthur. Simmons. Just another tanker, nothing special. Anders beats him. No, I think Simmons is better. Simmons is better because Panzer leader and you can give armored forces, but just go with List really. And then the final new one for silver tier is Brauchtisch. Party leader is good. Mountain is Mountain. And Inspiring, which I like Inspiring, but I'm a tank general. I think Inspiring is way better on a tank general when you're able to attack multiple times so that damage gets to rack up. I'll go more depth about Inspiring and Early Warning later. Speaking of Early Warning, the only new gold tier that's for free to play is Raider. Fleet Leader, Supply, and Early Warning. At max level, it's a 100% chance to evade 20% damage. Amazing. He's probably the top Navy general with Donuts. They're tied. They're really, Donuts is better in some things, Raider's better than other things, but you're going to want both of them together because they support each other greatly. So definitely a really good Navy general. Definitely surpassing Nimitz. Nimitz is entirely outclassed. The only thing he is still good for is price, but I mean, I ignore price. Oh, right. And one last Silver General I forgot. Horton. You want a third Navy General? You go with Horton. He's free, so he's the best discount Navy General. 5-star Navy, 4-star speed, early warning, explosives, fleet leader, add sailor. Look at that. Third free-to-play Navy General. Beats Nimitz. So, overall, some good, most bad. Now we'll go to the pay-to-win generals. So, EasyTech has reworked the main 3 pay-to-win generals and also adding 2 other new ones. We'll start with Katukov. Ignore the 80% discount. It's not a discount. It's basically, here's this shiny thing, touch it, buy it. It'll always be at 3 USD. Armored Tactic Expert recovers 6% maximum HP on the next turn. I can see the appeal, especially in Frontier. Replace Camouflage and Elastic Defense. Elastic Defense, what the fuck? Replace those 2 with Armored Assault and Panzer Leader. You got a pretty decent tanker. But I personally won't buy him because List exists, and I'd much rather have List. Mainly because the free-to-play aspect. I don't want to spend so much money on this game. Oh, also he has Organization, which is the tank version of Armored Tactic Expert. Less useful since infantry has lower HP, but hey, it's free HP. I'm not going to complain. But overall, decent tanker and pretty cheap. Eisenhower. You're still trash to me. No matter what other people say, you're still trash. You're getting rid of Sailor, which is good on you, and Shelter. That's not good on you. But, yeah, I still don't like Eisenhower. Maybe in a very small chance that title's gonna give him an amazing stat boost, but I doubt that. I doubt that the title will be able to save Eisenhower. Zhukov. Zhukov is the best party general as of late. He can have the best perks now because he can replace Crossfire with Planes and Barrage with Rumor. The perfect set for artillery. But since he's pay to win, Konev beats him because he's free to play. So, as a free to play person, you're gonna see Zhukov and you're gonna get upset because he's got the best skills for an artillery. But you have Konev, you have Lieb, and you have Nenonin. 3 really good artillery generals, all very cheap too, ignoring prices for stars. So it's not a huge loss if you don't have Zhukov. If you have Zhukov, then you're partying because then you don't have to buy Nenonin. Unless you're doing Warzone, but I don't think I've had an issue with wanting 4 artillery generals. So good if you have them, not bad if you don't have them. He's basically not a necessity. Well, none of these pay-to-win generals are a necessity, but you're not going to have a huge discrepancy from pay-to-win players if you don't have Zhukov. Same thing with Munstein. He's basically Guderian now. Before he was 3rd or 4th best, depending on how you see it, but now he can be the best tanker, but really the only difference between him and Guderian is the 1 additional star of speed. And EasyTech recently added mobility ribbons. So speed isn't an issue anymore. So Manstein is pay to win Guderian. So for free to play, no need to be upset about that. You're not missing out on much. I have built my Manstein to have inspiring and explosives. And since I'm on inspiring, I might as well explain it now. Inspiring increases your damage when you are in high morale. From my testing, having inspiring increases your damage more than having plain fighting. Having plain fighting and inspiring is only a 40 damage increase from having just inspiring. And also from my test, I've noticed that inspiring greatly increased the damage of the leader skills. I'm not sure if this will be patched out in a future update, but for now, this is why I prefer inspiring over plain fighting, and why plain fighting and inspiring for me it's redundant for me. 40 extra damage isn't much. I'd much rather have explosives, which will give me even more damage for fortresses. Oof. And for Zhukov, like I said, I built him to have plain and rumor. I don't want to do inspiring because I prefer inspiring on tanks and plain on arty. Now, for Marshall. I like Marshall. I really do. He's super fun to use. Not only does he have leader and raider, automatically amazing. He has Gorilla Master, evades 25% damage dealt by the enemy, and after attacking you restore 20% HP of the damage dealt to the enemy. Now this may not seem like a lot, especially as an infantry, where you're going to do like 200 at 200, but that's where his next skill comes into play. 100% chance that 2 other inactive infantry units around him will join the battle. Inactive meaning that the infantry general can still attack. I love this with my Yamashita. He and Marshall are best pals. They do like 400 combined, not even with an infantry leader trigger, and Marshall heals like 25% of his max HP thanks to that. And adding on top of that, Marshall's organization, extra 15% of his max HP healed. He's super fun to use. He's not the best infantry general because of the lack of explosives. This is why I like Yamashita more, but he's the best support for Yamashita. Add MacArthur to that for the infantry group charge. That's gonna be like maybe 600 damage at least. That's a lot of damage. And then Yamashita and MacArthur still attack afterwards. That's gonna rack out. So, very, very nice. That covers all the generals. I suppose there are the rotation generals, but those are long gone now. Those are an update long ago, and I don't really care about them. I'll just give my opinions on them now. Whitman, mid. Coulson, the best of the 4. Williams, basically the meme of the boss when you fight them versus the boss when he's a playable character. And McCampbell is trash. That's my opinion on all 4. Only really good one is Coulson. Fight me, Whitman simps. Now, Elite Forces. These are new units that work like European War 7 unit fragments. You get the initial 30 and you have to collect more fragments to upgrade them further. They can be deployed in almost all scenarios except daily invasions. Those are strictly for Legion units still. These cost resources to deploy on battlefield, they go from cheap to deploy to pretty expensive to deploy. I'll go over each one right now. Brandon burgers. They aren't too special right now. Samurai and marching. I don't really see any point to that. Maybe I wanted to put MacArthur on it, but I don't see anything special. Now, before I go on, EasyTech has said in their update preview that all these special units will have a special sort of active ability, but right now it's not there, except for combat medics. That's their active is healing. But other units like the tanks, there is no active yet. I think at level 5 is when you activate their active, but it could be later. We aren't sure yet. We just don't have the fragments yet to find out. So for now, we're basing it. I'm judging these units based completely off their stats and their perks, which is why Brandon burgers suck. I mean, I could use MacArthur on it, but that's about it. What? He has Samurai? Big whoop. Hawkeye is way better. They are anti-infantry with increased fatal blow damage. Very nice. I still prefer mechanized infantry because of that anti-stronghold. If I were to think, I'd put Marshall on the Hawkeye, MacArthur on the medic, which I'll go over right now, combat medic, marching, and heals 60 HP every turn. They can't heal themselves, but they can heal others. So, MacArthur on medic to go as fast as he can to heal, to get all across the map. Marshall on the Hawkeye, and Yamashita just on mechanized infantry. That's for me, at least. As they upgrade, I can assume that the healing will be increased further. Next up are the tanks. T-44. Medium tank with marching. And it loses its anti-infantry too. I don't see much use in this. This is just a fast medium tank. I guess you could use Teemo on it, give him crowd, see him zoom around and support everyone, but that's about it. So, nothing special. It's just a medium tank, really. If you're playing as a 1-star in 39 in 1943, as a 1-star, then this could be useful for you. Put one of your weaker tank generals on it, get a tier 3 factory, and then start putting your better units on the better equipment. Speaking of better equipment, King Tiger. 94 damage, 46 defense, 555 base HP. A tier 3 heavy tank, but better. And it has all the perks of a normal heavy tank. They even have better stats than the super heavies. So, really good tank. Really good tank. And it's even cheaper than a normal tier 3 heavy tank. So, cheaper and stronger. But I assume as you upgrade it further and further, it's going to get more and more expensive, so this statement will age like milk. But King Tiger, really good unit. The Pershing, not as good as the King Tiger, faster, but only one. It's basically the King Tiger's baby brother. It's still it's better than heavy tanks and super heavies, but you want to put your main tanker on the King Tiger and then your second best on the Pershing. Artillery, the M7 Priest. It's a funny guy. Artillery with anti-infantry. Personally, I prefer anti-armor instead of infantry, but I take what I can get. And this interesting perk of damage dealt to land target with max HP is increased by 15%. I think it means that when you attack a unit that has max HP, you'll do more damage. I'm not a big fan of that, just because it's a one-time thing, really, for a unit. But who knows? Like I said, their actives will be unlocked later. Maybe this little M7 Priest will become very powerful. Maybe it'll become as powerful as World of Tanks M7 Priest. Heavy Gustav, 98 attack, 17 defense, 8 speed, 415 health. And also anti-air too. It's really good. Only downside is it doesn't have that artillery perk of splash damage, but that's a nitpick really. And also what we've seen in the preview from EasyTech is that the Gustavus, I think if I remember correctly, its active gives it 5 range and extra 200% damage to units guarding the city. It could have changed, of course, but we don't know. So, but either way, Gustavus is a really good artillery. And the BM-21 rocket artillery. Yeah, it's rocket artillery. It's just tier 3 rocket artillery, but better. So yeah, that's basically it. It's just artillery. Navy now. Type 7 submarine. Just like with some of the other units, it's basically a better submarine. The Prince of Wales. Now this is a good one. I like this one, especially if I'm going to put donuts on it. Imagine max explosives and this perk. Damage dealt to fortresses is increased by 100%. He's gonna do massive damage to fortresses. Spitfire. Just a better fighter. These little airplane icon with the number under it, I assume that's how many you have. I'm assuming that's how many you have, like, you can use in one battle. And I'm also going to take another guess because I don't have any of the planes yet, but I think after you purchase the planes, you can use all the planes that it gets purchased with. You can use them for free without any need to purchase, to rebuy it and shoot it again, you know? So that's nice. Stuka, like I said, just a better bomber. And the C-47 Skytrain. This one drops units from one location to another, and it has the best range and then it has better range than paratrooper. So it can paratroop already existing units to another location. We've only seen it so far with infantry, but who knows? Maybe it can transport artillery. Maybe it can transport tanks. I can imagine it now. Guderian on the King Tiger, on the city, all the way to the other side of the map. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, I think that covers it for generals and units. Ribbon-wise, they've added the mobility ribbons, as I said. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all for their different units. I'd say it would probably replace the blue ribbons. The blue ribbons were probably the most lackluster to me compared to the crit ribbons and the plunder ribbons. Maybe you could get away with using the mobility ribbon over the plunder ribbon when commanding Navy, but that's about it. Now for biography. Biographies are a new mode added to the game. Right now there's only 4 generals that are affected by it, but soon they're going to have Eisenhower, which I don't think will get any better. But these missions are pretty difficult but fun. They offer good rewards, and when you beat it, you can get their title. Each general has each of the generals listed has a different title. For this one, Guderian gets extra 12 damage, and the probability of dealing a fatal blow is increased by 10%. So hypothetically, Guderian with max Panzer Leader plus Iron Cross plus max crit ribbon for tank equals 100% chance of dealing a fatal blow. That's nice. A lot of investment to get that, but nice nonetheless. Marshall, extra 18 damage and extra 12 defense. Zhukov gets extra 18 attack and plus 20% HP. That's a really good title. And Rommel probably gets the best of all of them. Mobility plus 2, so he gets Guderian speed. And fatal blow damage is increased by 25%. That's probably the best title so far. These titles are only activated if the general is on a special unit, so keep that in mind. Don't think Rommel's gonna always have plus 2 mobility and plus 25% damage when having a fatal blow. But it's not gonna be hard to have your generals on those special units, since they can be deployed in almost every scenario. We're almost done with this update preview. We just have 2 more things. First, the events. So, these events are all defense-centered events. You're not supposed to be on the offense. I'm going to be on the offense anyways. These are meant to challenge you, and these are definitely for an end game sort of lineup, or a mid to end game. You're going to need a lot of skill to beat these. But the rewards are worth it. You get more of the special units and ribbons. These are just the easy mode rewards. I haven't beaten it yet. I haven't even tried it. I just looked at it. But the rules for it are simple. The event campaign is open for a limited time. For Mannerheim line, it's only 7 days. I assume all of them are going to be 7 days. And they're going to be rotational, so don't worry if you didn't finish Mannerheim line in time. You'll probably be able to do it again in like maybe a month or so. The campaign is divided into normal and hard difficulty. Hard difficulty needs to be unlocked after beating normal mode, and in hard mode you will have to deal with enemies with 2 extra buffs, which is going to be even harder to deal with. All you have to do for these missions is hold at least 1 key area for as long as you can. If you can hold at least 1 key area for 30 turns, you will get all the rewards. So yeah, it's a very tough mission. Not to mention you got fortresses. Tanky fortresses too, that'll spam out units. So yeah, it's a tough battle, but it's fun. You also get a pretty good infantry general in the name of White Death. I'm not going to try to butcher his name though. He's good. I still think Marshall Yamashita and MacArthur are better. Sure, he's got Raider and Infantry Leader built into having +1 range and organization, but my biggest gripe is that there's no explosives, which I know Marshall doesn't have explosives either, but he has 2 other infantry that can have explosives fight with them, so I know. It's a small nitpick, but it's a big one for me since infantry are meant to be bunker busters for me. So yeah, he's good, but I would rather have MacArthur as my 3rd infantry general because of his amazing speed and his amazing support role. So yeah, as a Finn, I'm probably making my family really mad at me, but I don't care. But yeah, so that's Simo. There are some other generals that have been introduced to the either biographies or these events, but aren't purchasable yet. I'm not going to go over those, mainly because the only screenshots we have of them are in Chinese, and I can't translate Chinese. But yeah, that covers everything. Overall, a pretty fun update. Oh wait, there's one more thing, I forgot. For World War II Europe and Pacific, we have Challenge Mode. Challenge Mode is basically hard mode, but harder. but more resources. That's all that matters. There are 2 campaigns that you'd probably want to beat as soon as possible. Guadalcanal and what was the other one? The other one gets you early warning. Operation Sea Lion Challenge. I already went over both of them, but yeah. So you want to beat those 2 as soon as possible. That is about it for the update. If I missed anything, I'll put it in the pinned comment. If this video gets 100 likes or 1,000 views, I shall make a tier list of every single general and my recommended builds for every single general. I put this behind a like or view achievement just because some of my points are going to be pretty controversial and a lot of people are going to get mad at me. Mostly the pay to win moves because they suck. But yeah, so 1k views or 100 likes and I'll do it. I'll put my opinion out there and I'll let the internet hate me because having an opinion on the internet is a bad idea. But anyways, I really like this update. A lot of new things, a lot of good generals for free to play. Well, not a lot, a few, but a few really good generals for free to play. More medals. These special forces are really good for new players to use in the campaigns if they're having trouble. I'm sure the medic troops are going to be like a godsend for the free to play. But yeah, probably one of the best updates EasyTech has published to their games. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.